On this episode, local governments maintaining water-sensitive urban design assets, what has worked, and specifically, what is my opinion on who should do the work? Should it be contractors? Should it be in-house crews? Let's get into it. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ideanthro. And welcome back to this series where we've been looking at how local governments have been successful in obtaining budgets for maintaining water-sensitive urban design assets. Now, in the majority of the episodes, we worked through a process that I've observed local governments go through to do this. But now that we've reached the end of it, we are in the midst of two episodes that aren't shown on the board here, and this is the second of the two, where I am throwing in my thoughts as to what makes most sense, where there's a couple of decisions to be made. So in the initial episodes, I tried not to bias this because I wanted you to have have the chance to consider this without being unduly influenced by my opinion, because my opinion is only my opinion, and you're in the local government. You are the person here who knows your local government best, and my opinion doesn't necessarily make any sense for your local government. But now that we've got to the end of this, I can't help but want to throw a few thoughts around here for you to consider. So, if you've seen the initial episodes, had a chance to think about it for yourself, by all means, watch this episode. If you haven't done that, I'd recommend you go back up, particularly in this instance, because we're going to talk about this topic here. Go back up to episode 126. Have a think about that yourself first, and then come back to this episode. Anyway, so what's the topic? In episode 126, we talked about should maintenance, when you're first setting up a budget for maintaining your water-sensitive urban design assets, should you start by going out externally and getting contractors to do the work, or should you start by getting in-house crews to do the work? My opinion on the matter is contractors is the way to go. And it's really simple. For me, in most instances, I see local governments start out with a relatively small budget, not enough to really get someone. There's a couple of factors at play here. One of which is the budget isn't necessarily enough to justify actually employing people all the time to do this. And secondly, there's a time to come up to skill on stuff. The reality is in Southeast Queensland, there's lots of contractors out there who've got skills already. And I just think it's simpler and easier, first time round when you've got a small budget and need works done, to just immediately, come July 1st, it's the new financial year, you've got your budget for the first time, just get it out to contract. Just get those contractors out there doing work and maintaining stuff. That way we can get some wins on the ground, we can show implementation, we can show through continuous improvement that this money was worth it. I think that there are some potential delays in having to bring people on in-house, get them up to get them skilled up for the first time. I would go contractors unless you've got some particular overriding reason that makes more sense. That reason might be there are no contractors in your area who have any skills in this space, in which case my entire logic for contractors just falls out the window, and you have a much more even decision to make about which way to go. That's my thoughts on it. What do you think? Which way would you go?